5 historical legends that are probably true. Number 5. Veir Saga. Between 1184 and 1202, Veir Saga reigned as king of Norway. Despite being one of the nation's most significant rulers from that time, most of our information about him comes from a single source, the Veir Saga. This chronicle was written by Abbot Carl Johnson, who was a contemporary of King Sverre and attended his court. While his account of Sverre's reign seemed plausible, there was little evidence to corroborate it apart from minor references in some letters between Norwegian bishops and the Pope. That changed recently when at least one portion of the saga was confirmed in remarkable detail. In 1196, Sverre engaged in civil war with a faction known as the Baglers who wanted to overthrow him. The following year, the Baglers sacked his castle Sverresborg in Trondheim. They destroyed the walls, burned every building, seized all the valuables and, lastly, threw a man down the well and filled it with stones to ruin the water supply. Incredibly, archaeologists now believe they have found that man. The site of the castle has been known for a while, but only recently have archaeologists discovered the location of the well. After some excavating, they found a skeleton. Recent carbon dating tests have shown that the skeleton is roughly 800 years old. This puts the Veir Saga not only in the realm of the firmly believable, but also makes it unique, given how rare it is for centuries-old stories to be backed up by physical evidence. Number 4. Bow and Arrow Wars. Quinhagak is a small town in Alaska with a population of less than 1,000. It became quite notable a few years ago when it proved to be an invaluable treasure trove of Yupik artifacts. The Yupik are a group of Eskimo people related to the Inuit who first settled in Alaska around 3,000 years ago. They inhabited the area around Quinhagak starting with the 14th century, and recent archaeological discoveries show that they lived there continuously for at least 3 centuries. The archaeological site called Nunalak is actually located outside the town of Quinhagak and has already proven to be the biggest collection of pre-contact Yupik artifacts in the world, excellently preserved in permafrost. Thousands of items have been recovered, but it seems that the bulk of the collection might already have been lost. Archaeologists are racing against the clock as the site is located along the coastline, which is steadily eroding, washing away more artifacts with each passing day. So far, the empirical evidence confirmed many tales of Yupik culture that have been passed down through oral tradition. Most notably, the evidence shows that the dig was once the site of a massacre in the mid-17th century described during a period of bloody inter-village battles known as the Bow and Arrow Wars. According to the legend, attackers burned the village and everyone in it, including the dogs. Anyone who survived the fire was shot with arrows and dismembered. Archaeologists found human and dog remains from that time with burn marks, as well as dismembered skeletons. Number 3. Monster waves. For hundreds of years, sailors shared stories of giant waves appearing out of nowhere, taking ships and their entire crews to their watery graves. Given how many legends are born out of a life at sea, this was also dismissed as another salty story. It actually wasn't until 1995 that we had concrete evidence for the existence of these monster waves. Today there can be no doubt. These giant waves, referred to as rogue waves, are real. Besides their massive size, rogue waves are characterized as unpredictable and spontaneous. While they are not the biggest waves in the world, they are unusually large for a given sea state and appear as a result of a combination of factors such as strong currents and high winds. Rogue waves were confirmed on New Year's Eve, 1995. A giant 25.6 meters monster wave hit the Draupner platform in the North Sea off the coast of Norway. The Draupner wave became the first of its kind to be recorded by instruments, providing scientific backing to the anecdotal evidence collected over centuries. Confirmation of the existence of rogue waves forced oceanographers to reconsider our understanding of the sea. Prior to this, they used the linear mathematical model to predict wave height. This resulted in a Gaussian curve that anticipated monster waves with extreme rarity such as once every 10,000 years. Now we know that is not the case and that rogue waves could have been behind many mysterious maritime disappearances that we must now re-evaluate. Number 2. La Ciudad Blanca. La Ciudad Blanca is a legendary city said to be hidden away somewhere in the Mixquiche region of Honduras. Similar to El Dorado, La Ciudad Blanca, also known as the City of the Monkey God, was said to hold untold riches, and word of it first reached Europeans through the Spanish conquistadors. Interest in La Ciudad Blanca was rekindled at the start of the 20th century when several people attested to its existence. Most notably, adventurer Theodore Mord claimed to have found the lost city in 1940. He never told anyone else of its alleged location and, just to add fuel to the conspiracy fire, he died of an alleged suicide under suspicious circumstances. Decades later, archaeologists have found a pristine site that was once home to an as yet unidentified civilization. This site was first found in 2012 using state-of-the-art LIDAR technology, and investigations of the dig started last year. Already dozens of artifacts have been excavated which have been dated between AD 1000 and 1400. Other archaeologists have criticized the coverage of the discovery as being sensationalist. However, the team in charge has defended its findings, specifying that it never claimed the site to be La Ciudad Blanca or the lost city allegedly found by Mord. Indeed, it is looking more likely that there never was one single mystical city in the heart of the Honduran jungle, but many such sites throughout Mixquiche that point to something far more captivating, a lost pre-Columbian civilization. Number 1. Pirate Booty. Legends of sunken pirate riches have excited treasure hunters for centuries and will undoubtedly continue to do so in the future. In the modern age, the most significant discovery happened in 1984 when we found the shipwreck of the Whydah galley once captained by Black Sam Bellamy. Not only did we find concrete evidence of its identity, but also genuine pirate treasure consisting of over 100,000 pieces of gold. In 1996 a private firm found the wreck of the infamous Queen Anne's Revenge. Once helmed by the notorious Blackbeard, the Revenge was one of the most heavily armed ships to prowl the seven seas. Salvaging it from the watery depths is a slow and ongoing process. Unlike the Whydah galley, Queen Anne's Revenge didn't have any treasure aboard, and historians believe Blackbeard might have even sunk it on purpose. In 2012, a wreck thought to be the Port-au-Prince was found in Tongan waters. According to legend, King Alukalila and his men massacred the crew and scuttled the vessel and most of its treasure after salvaging the iron. If this turns out to be true, it will confirm an important chapter of Tongan history. The holy grail of piracy remains the treasure of Captain Kidd, and last year people thought they might finally have found it. A wreck believed to be Kidd's adventure galley was found along with a 50-kilogram silver ingot. Unfortunately, it later turned out that the ingot was 95% lost during port construction.